Welcome to Talking Straight. I'm Suresh Kochatal. It's an obvious question why opposition leaders led by the Congress tried to stall proceedings in Parliament yesterday over the PLA, that's the People's Liberation Army of China, and the Indian Army clash in Tawang, Arunachal Pradesh. This is not the first time that the Congress party has asked for proof that the Indian Army did indeed retaliate ferociously. When the Balakot happened, Rahul Gandhi asked for proof from the Indian government as to whether we did carry out the airstrikes or not. Also, why is it that the Chinese army resorts to these provocations just before the Indian parliament session gets underway? In no other country, mark my words, in no other country does the opposition parties ask for proof of what their armed forces did. It happens only in India. We know why the Congress is doing it. Despite clarification by Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, members of the Congress and other opposition parties on Tuesday staged a walkout from the Rajya Sabha after they were denied permission to seek clarifications on the defense minister's statement. The same thing happened in the Lok Sabha too. The Chinese and Indian army troops clashed in Tawang, as we know, and surely there was a lot of emotions at play. Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh told the members that since the matter was sensitive, no clarifications would be allowed. It's a common sense. How can army action be discussed in Parliament? However, the opposition was unrelenting in its demand and chose to walk out. Members of the CPI and CPM, which obviously have the loyalties in China, and then joined by Shiv Sena, RJD, SP and the usual culprits including JMM, joined to stage a walkout. The deputy chairman in the Rajya Sabha did not allow any clarification, saying our armed forces are guarding our borders with full vigor and alertness. The entire house has a faith and a trust in their valor and bravery. This is a sensitive matter, unquote. The protests by Congress and other opposition parties over the Tawang clashes also plunged the Lok Sabha into a disorder, forcing adjournment during the question hour. Congress MPs and other opposition members who were seeking a discussion and clarification walked out finally from the Lok Sabha. The strategy of Rahul Gandhi-led Congress and other opposition parties is to demoralize the Indian armed forces. We saw that at Balakot, when Rahul Gandhi, Arvind Kejriwal and many opposition leaders demanded proof from the Indian Air Force for the raid having taken place. Do opposition parties, as I said before, in any other nation ask for such proof from their armed forces? No. If you recollect, every time before the parliament session before, as I said, the Chinese resort to some kind of provocation. And not just the Chinese, even the media in India does it. Take for example, the Hindu led by Narsimhan Ram. They brought out a fake story on Rafale just before the parliament session began a couple of years ago. The entire session was washed out, and despite efforts of the Congress and other parties, the government refused to cancel the Rafale deal. Today, we have 4 squadrons of Rafale with us. At least 3 are in action right now. This is what the Chinese also wanted to happen. The unprovoked attack on the Indian troops in Galwan was one such case, as we know before. Our brave hearts in that case beat back the PLA, and in the process we also lost a number of our martyrs, including the commanding officer, Colonel Satosh Babu. Here again the idea of the Chinese was to get their partners in India, the Congress and the Communist Party, to run down the BJP government. It's a well-known fact that the Chinese have purchased many Indian political parties with cash, like the Indian National Congress and both the Communist Party from a long time. They are actually their affiliates. Even smaller political parties and farmer unions are on the Chinese payroll. It also extends to media and newspapers and television channels, like the Hindu, which is funded officially by the Chinese Communist Party regime by way of huge volumes of advertising on matters relating to China, which have no relevance to India. Home Minister Amit Shah raised the issue of the Chinese funds and asked Sonia Gandhi-led trust. Prime violations was against the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation and the Rajiv Gandhi Cultural Trust for not utilizing the funds for the purpose for which they were received. Failure to maintain proper accounts and also not keeping the government informed about the source and the utilization of each foreign receipt. Did RGF's research funds given by China to the Congress cover any of the Sino-India ties, and what was the outcome of that, asked Amit Shah. Did the encroachment of more than 38,000 square kilometers of land by China in 1962, was it looked into by the Congress? Obviously no. They took money from the Chinese to do research on China. Imagine which political party would do that. Did RGF's research look at India sacrificing a permanent seat in the United Nations on account of Nehru's love for China? Hindi Chini bhai bhai. Also, Amit Shah asked about the dinner hosted by the Congress party for the Chinese embassy official, even as the Indian army personnel were fighting the Chinese troops in Galwan in 2020. When the Congress was in power, the Chinese government made claims on Arunachal Pradesh and the erstwhile NEFA. On May 25, 2007, China rejected the visa application of the then Arunachal Chief Minister Dorji Khandu, saying that Arunachal is a part of China. The Congress did nothing. Was it also part of that research, asked Amit Shah? If that was, what was the outcome? If Congress party and its leaders remember, China had on October 13, 2009, raised an objection to the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's visit to Arunachal Pradesh. In 2010, China started issuing staple visas to people of Jammu and Kashmir. Amit Shah further added that in 2011, the government of India stopped the construction of roads and vital infrastructure in Demchok after China issued a threat. Defense Minister A.K. Antony said this in Parliament. This is not just a statement by Amit Shah ji. Mr. Amit Shah also asked if all these aspects of Sino-Indian ties were researched by the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, which got huge funds from China. The Congress should set aside its hypocrisy. And sure enough, the people of India is already seeing through the party's double standards. Or working through a foundation run by the Nehru family on furthering ties with China, even in the face of repeated hostile actions by China. A 50 lakh rupee donation was made on 7th of July 2011 to the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust by the Islamic evangelist, terror supporter Zakir Naik's NGO, the Islamic Research Foundation, now designated as an unlawful association under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, or UPA as it's known. Why did Zakir Naik pay the amount to the Congress party? Indirectly, that is. The IRF had donated rupees 50 lakhs to Sonia Gandhi's trust, and RGCT had sought a second donation of 25 lakhs from IRF in 2011. Imagine the Congress party went back, that is the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation Cultural Trust, all went back and asked Zakir Naik for more money. Imagine asking a terrorist for more money. And this fund was routed through MH Sabu Siddique Maternity and General Hospital in Mumbai. While the IRF released the 25 lakh to MH Sabu Siddique Hospital, the latter never passed it on to the Rajiv Gandhi Cultural Trust. Why? It's obvious that we are fighting a 2.5 front war, as the late Chief of Defence Staff Bipin Rawat had said. Bipin Rawat ji had warned that apart from China and Pakistan, we also have internal enemies who are more dangerous in media, in politics, in bureaucracy, in judiciary, and of course Naxalite and the anti-national groups. The Chinese, the Pakistanis and other nations who hate India fund these splinter groups and sympathizers through a variety of sources. What we saw at Galwan and now at Tawang is a sign of things to come. But what the Chinese are not aware is the fact that we have a tough government led by Shri Narendra Modi ji, which will give it back twice as hard as it gets. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.
Please subscribe to Nationalist Hub English channel for more interesting videos, and don't forget to like and share this video. Nationalist Hub, it's a news revolution.